Hello and welcome to another MCO market update on Bitcoin. The Bitcoin chart is still under a lot of pressure. We continue to see further downside unfold as part of this yellow scenario that we discussed already in the last video. We have a 5-wave move down from the $88,625 high. And yeah, the question is now, are we already in the third wave to the downside? I mean, that's my idea here. Talked about that in the previous video. Due to the 5-wave move down and the failure of the bulls yesterday, the yellow scenario has taken the lead. Only short term though. I mean, again, that can still change, right? But for now, there is no evidence that the bulls are turning up here. I would, however, expect a bit of a bounce at least, and that next bounce should give us further clarity. Quick reminder, I talked about the daily chart in the previous video. I'm not going to do that again in this video, but just for a little bit of context, the white scenario remains valid. It remains valid in this scenario. It is possible that a larger degree fourth wave already bottomed here on the 10th of March. We have an A wave up. The B wave could still be unfolding as an A, B, C structure. And then from there, we could continue to rally. So how that's going to be integrated in the bigger picture, I would recommend you check out the previous video, like where I covered the daily chart. Really here on the smaller time frame chart, it's about, okay, do the bulls make a comeback? Do they still have a chance? And what are the key levels that the bulls need to show up really at before a structure breaks, right? So the white count remains valid. It just, you might just remember, if you watched previous videos, that the initial rally is a 3-wave move. So we just don't have a high confidence pattern here. There's just no high confidence move there. It's only a 3-wave move up, so it's not clearly bullish. It can be, but then the market failed to form 5 waves yesterday. Sharp decline. Technically, we need a bullish alternative. So that's why I've just moved circle wave B low that we had considered to be in place here, now to here. Again, what do I always say? Trade the levels, not the counts. Yeah, it's something I mentioned in my last video on the MCO Global channel, where I talk a little bit about strategy, mindset, misunderstandings. If you're interested to learn more about the analysis and how it works, check out that last video I uploaded yesterday on the MCO Global channel. I talk a lot about you know, that the levels matter more than the labels, right? So again, we had a support area here. Talked about that already end of March. Price reacted to it, rallied. Now we're just falling back into support. So the wave count itself is still valid as a potential B wave pullback. Just the C wave up hasn't started yet. But again, that remains the alternative for now, because the bulls would need to take the price back above resistance to indicate they have control. And support is between $81,160 to $79,190. And that would be standard support. But yeah, the bulls would need to turn up. This looks like a 5-wave move down, so it could just be the C wave in wave B. Definitely worth watching. I mean, I'm watching this area for a bounce, and I think the next bounce should tell us a lot about which pattern here is really unfolding. Now, zooming in further into the more detailed wave pattern, you see in the yellow scenario, I'm tracking primarily this now as wave 1 to the downside, as a 5-wave move down. And then the next bounce could be a wave 2. And the resistance area is exactly for that here on the chart. For that wave 2 bounce, we can adjust it slightly. It doesn't change much. Between 84,250 and 87,057, which means that if we now see a bounce, and there's nothing visible right now, right? So it's still downside pressure, still unfolding. If we now see a bounce, and we could see a bounce from here, maybe around the last lows, around 81,160 or the 80,050 level. That's another Fibonacci level to watch. Then we can watch this Fibonacci zone, and I will adjust it throughout the day and communicate that on Discord. But we can watch this area for reaction, and if there is an impulsive reaction, further downside. If the price just drops like a stone and we break below $80,050, then I think it is likely we are already in the third of a third wave to the downside. So let me make that clear. Yellow scenario is preferred. And in that scenario, it's between, okay, are we just about to finish wave 1? Or are we already in the third of a third wave to the downside? Currently, as long as we're above 80,050, I'm going to watch for a bounce in wave 2. Below that, it just becomes more probable that we're already in a third of a third wave and should quite directly drop to the 75K area. So that's how I see it at the moment. That should give you all the levels. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.